promoters are gonna be pissed when I say this. Unless I'm super motivated at 1 o'clock in the morning and I decide to cut a promo on somebody because I was pissed off at the whole day,
Oh,
then
yeah.
I'll do that and then watch another person go off about it.
I mean, our biggest things. We always try to approach it with like, hey, let's not try to do exactly the same thing we did in whatever our last promo was. Whether that's, hey, we're doing a big story driven skit promo, or hey, we're doing a traditional promo. Obviously, it's still zany and wacky, but
Yeah.
it's a little more traditional of cutting the promo. Or B, we're doing something serious or realistic, like her, like she when she was getting booked, it was just her, like her promo for getting booked was meant to be a little more edgy, a little more mean, and
For
like
what?
for you coming back from injury and being available for bookings. That was like where I think her whole
Yeah.
the idea she had for that was just the feeling she has of being a performer and all the different things that she hears from different people, whether it's me, whether it's her trainers, whether it's promoters, whether it's fellow like wrestlers that she people that she trains with, or people she works with on shows. Different things that are thrown at her constantly, and like she feels the pressure of it constantly, and kind of like how it like it legit kind of like gives her anxiety sometimes because she feels
A
like
lot of the time.
yeah, she feels like she has to live up to so much, and it was a very different promo than her regular anime or fun happy-go-lucky stuff.
Yeah.
It was meant to be more serious and just but with a little bit of like not not to say she's it wasn't meant to be necessarily a heel promo, but it was meant to be like, hey,
A little bit more like, hey, I'm angry.
hey, there's some menace
No.
behind me. There's some menace. There's some anger. Just because she plays
I'm a menace, apparently.
yeah, you're definitely a menace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was we kind of shot it in a certain way. We had one originally, so like when she told me about this idea, and she was like, "Hey, I want to cut this where it's like like almost like my monologue, and it starts getting jumbled together. So it's like thoughts when intrusive thoughts kind of hit you over and over again, and everything's kind of your head
Not
feels
really intrusive
loud.
thoughts, but anxiety.
Yeah, but your head's loud either way. She wanted that vibe, and so there was
like you're trying to go to sleep at 3 a.m. and your brain's like, hey, you remember that embarrassing thing you did 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
And so like I was like, hey, how about this? I found a song. There's a song by the who was it? Who's it by? What's the song? There's an artist. The one song I based I strummed it together like that, where they're saying words.
Oh, it's called Locals by the Underscores.
Yeah. It's not Locals.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You're right. I thought. But
One
yeah,
of my favorite
like
songs.
if you listen to like the way it starts and kind of when it picks up into the beat, and then you listen to a promo, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's clearly like it starts off they're saying words, and then they start like overlapping each other. And I felt like, hey, that's how it feels like when you have anxiety, like
when you're anxious, and you're overthinking
things. And then we originally
trying to warm my mug.
Originally, when we talked about it, she had in mind she kind of wanted it to be like an above shot.
I wanted it up in my corner, like in the corner of my room, to get like kind of almost like a security cam, but like not obviously, but
pacing.
Me pacing back and forth, but
and we tried it, and it just did not work at all the way we like she envisioned it. I envisioned it too a certain way, and I was like, okay, this sounds cool. And then we did it, and I was like, this sucks. This doesn't work.
Like we suck at this.
So then I was like, hey, how about we come at it from a different point of view? How about like we turn it from here and just kind of like film you like thinking really up close, and then we'll slow it down and we'll put like a white filter, like a black and white filter on it, and then we'll add like a ticking clocks, not ticking talks. Ticking clocks to it. And so instead of that was always going to be there, but it was going to be the one up top. But then when I was like, hey, why don't we pan around and then we just kind of get like we're going into your head and seeing how you feel since it's already your thoughts. And then came out with it. I honestly, it's one of my favorite things like we've shot or filmed. Like
Agreed.
I was really happy with it because
I was very proud of it because
very different.
Yeah, it's different from what most people are doing, but it's also very different from anything I've done.
Yeah.
Well, so it goes back because it's funny. The week that we're recording this, like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I think it was. Like I had a panic attack. So like, and the way you're describing it was 100% like how I remember waking up in the middle of the night just freaking out because I was like, yo, there's this is happening, that's happening, it's gonna lead to this, it's gonna lead to that, and then you're gonna go down this way, and then you're gonna go down that way, and for like and I had just woken up, and I remember like 15 minutes of just hearing everything under the sun, just of the worst case scenarios were gonna happen. And then finally, like I grasped a hold of it, and I was like, "Yo, these are all just thoughts. Just
Yep.
relax." And just I was like, "Get up out of the bed, go put some water in your face, slow down, think everything through, and then just go to bed." And it's crazy because the way you're describing it, I was like, I also wanted to shoot a promo that same kind of style, and I was like, man, it would just be finally to be like, you know what, like I don't know, because there's sometimes where I'm like, my character comes off like super goofy, and a lot of people want to book
Yeah.
him like this goofy kind of funny, character, but there is a darker side to that character
There's
too, and
always more.
yeah,
There's
and I've
more
always
to
wanted
it.
to dig deeper into the layers, and I was like, man, that would be a perfect way to do something like that. And so hearing you do it, I'm like, well, damn, now I don't want to do it. I gotta
No,
focus.
no,
Nah,
no.
man, do
Yeah,
it
it's
your
just,
own way.
like yeah, it don't mean you can, man. For one,
Everybody thinks different.
Yeah,
hers was a book me graphic, a book me
Yeah,
video.
it was just a
Essentially,
book me
it was
promo.
hers was a hey, I'm not injured anymore. I can take bookings again.
that's right.
uh,
You had your hand injury, right?
it was a
Yes,
finger,
broke my finger.
like a little.
Oh, ironically, the Brian Bayside match dropped 3 minutes ago, as of right now.
Nice.
I am so serious. I literally just opened it because I had a message and I was like, I'm gonna get rid of that, and that's what it was.
Because
Um,
we ran into each other. We met initially at the IGB, which is crazy enough that we're actually
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
IGB. It's creamed out, right? Is that what's coming up?
I think.
I think
I think
that's
so. Yeah, it is.
sorry,
I
Stan.
took
I'm
my
trying to
best.
help promote your
State's
show.
all sold out.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to help promote your show, and I'm over here. I'm like, I think it's called creamed out, but
Yes.
yeah. And we just started running into each other, and it was funny because like I was paying attention to you guys, and I saw that ACW was actually down in North Carolina, and so I know that you guys had worked with my trainer Sickened,
Okay.
and and then it was just funny how like more of the circles like started closing together, and I was like, oh, it's family now. But yeah, thinking about going back to our point before we start talking promoting everybody else's shows, I think about just how much you can entangle your life into your character and just like play off of like scenarios that's happened. It's so crazy to me, just like dynamic of how much you invest into pro wrestling, into your character side of pro wrestling.
Yeah, like I've been kind of doing the same thing for a couple years too, and she's kind of evolving her character a lot more right now. Like, cause she obviously still has the hero thing, but she's kind of doing the more heelish
Leading
slash
further into the
anime.
the actual anime girl thing rather than just the anime superhero part of
just
it.
the Deku. Rather than just being female Deku, she's leaning into all the like
other anime tropes that anime. What people think about when they think of an anime girl, that's what I'm leaning to.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Not
I don't want to lean full into it because
it's like I say also it's just like what you feel comfortable with leaning into, and also where what gets over, what gets you booked, what's what's something new for you to do. Because I mean, I know for her, she kind of wanted to do something that's not just always like, not saying kid friendly, but something that's also like, she's 20 now. She kind of has a different viewpoint than she did when she was 17 or 18 about life. I know I've watched her grow. I've watched her change. And kind of just allowing her more of her personality, because she's a very it's captured very well in our promos, no matter what, of that she's a very chaotic persona in real life. Like she's just very all over the place. And the way her character was before was like it was a little more tepid, which that's a part of her too. But she's also like this giant, yeah, she's a goofball. She's got this energy around her, and I was like, hey, you need to lean into that because that's who you really are. And and it's like you say that whole thing about people like kind of
Are you sweating?
no, not booking you as like that you wanting to do sometimes more serious stuff. You should just do it, man. Experiment. Like,
Well,
What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz and friends, Red Dog friends, Damien friends, the Film Styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify, all those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.